In the 6th year of divorce, I planned to remarry my younger brother, who is 7 years younger than me. I didn't want to meet him talking and laughing with his friends by accident. When I first was with Luo Nuan, I thought it was okay to be 7 years older. Now that we have been talking for a long time, I have no desire to face her yellow-faced woman. Later I proposed to break up. But he knelt in the snow all night just to beg me to turn back. Point 1. The light line of the corridor sloped down, reflecting my pale face on the tiles. It turned out that in Qin Yuchuan's heart, I was just a yellow-faced woman. When he chased me, he said he didn't care about age. In the box, a friend who had a good relationship with Qin Yuchuan asked with a smile, "So you still propose to Luo Nuan?" Qin Yuchuan took a puff of cigarette and spit out smoke. "Except for me, who else likes her, a divorced woman in her 30s? Second marriage also has the benefits of second marriage. Have fun in bed." The friend smiled ambiguously. Qin Yuchuan raised a mocking smile. "Did you have fun? You don't know how innocent she is in bed. I guess her ex-husband will cheat, but he can't stand the dead look in her bed. If it weren't for her money or the only girl in Beicheng, would I have rushed to be a pickup man? Marry a second-hand one of her." Qin Yuchuan's expression was not half guilty. I can only belittle the pleasure brought by me. I looked at the ring on my ring finger, and my heart seemed to be stabbed with thousands of needles. It hurts so much that I can't breathe. It has only been half an hour since Qin Yuchuan proposed to me. I still remember that he made 1,000 Kongming lanterns with my name to pray for my proposal. In just half an hour he can enjoy ridicule me with others. But the person who hugged me and cried because I promised to propose was also him. Asterisk. Before I met Qin Yuchuan, I had a failed marriage. My ex-husband Zhang Boyan is my first love. After marriage, I became a full-time wife and fully supported Zhang Boyan to start a business. In the 3rd year after marriage, Zhang Boyan successfully started a business and cheated on a secretary who was very similar to me. After being found out by me, Zhang Boyan also said, "Luo Nuan, why am I looking for a woman outside? It's not your fault that you are not attractive. Look, what emotional value can you provide me in addition to running around the stove and complaining to me that I don't have enough money to spend?" I decisively chose to divorce Zhang Boyan. After the divorce, I stepped back into the workplace. The window period is up to 3 years, and I have no employment experience. I can only start as the most basic clerk. No matter how hard I try, the road ahead is still blank. It was also at this time that I met Qin Yuchuan. The 19-year-old teenager is energetic, like the blazing sun shining into my barren world. I was inevitably moved, but I also remembered the reality that we were 7 years apart. But Qin Yuchuan told me with his actions that age is not a problem. On the Christmas Eve of the 2nd year I met him, it suddenly snowed in the northern city, and the sky and the earth were white. On the eve of getting off work, I followed the trend and posted a circle of friends. The first person I met at night in the first snow will be the lover of my life. When I came out of the office building, I saw Qin Yuchuan waiting downstairs with an umbrella. The young man's black windbreaker, tall and long legs, is extremely eye-catching. But he came to me alone. "Luo Nuan, I know you care about the age difference between us. I don't ask you to accept me immediately. I just hope to have the opportunity to be the first person you meet on the first snow night." Qin Yuchuan looked at me anxiously and asked tentatively, "Can you give me a chance?" "Yes." So far, I still remember that when I let go of my promise, Qin Yuchuan's eyes were bright. It's only been a few years. The teenager who was full of me began to dislike that I was older than him, and that I was a yellow-faced woman. The conversation in the box was still going on, and the friend came up with an idea for Qin Yuchuan. "You are too depressed. Why don't you get married?" Qin Yuchuan said, "Of course it needs to be tied." I looked at him in a daze, and a burst of expectation rose in my heart. He was talking drunk just now, right? The next second, Qin Yuchuan beat me into hell. "If I don't marry Luo Nuan, how can I get a Beicheng household registration?" "Then when you get the Beicheng household registration, are you going to divorce Luo Nuan?" Qin Yuchuan didn't say anything and answered with silence. Overwhelming anger and disappointment enveloped me, and the sourness in my nasal cavity grew stronger and stronger. It turned out that the salvation I thought I had encountered was actually just a joke. "Qin Yuchuan, do you want to take advantage of me? Then I'll play with you and teach you a good lesson. Ginger is still spicy." 2. 10 minutes later, I sorted out my mood and went back to the box. Qin Yuchuan opened the seat for me. Seeing that my face was pale, he asked with concern, "What's the matter? Do you have stomach disease again?" Over the years, in order to gain a foothold in the workplace as soon as possible, I have worked day and night. While being promoted to the director of the company, he also had a chronic stomach disease. After being with Qin Yuchuan in order to nourish my stomach, he signed up for a traditional Chinese medicine class and changed the method to make medicinal diet for me every day. The man who just made fun of me with Qin Yuchuan said, "Sister-in-law, look how much Chuan cares about you. When you don't feel well, he is more anxious than anyone else." I took a look at Qin Yuchuan. The care in his eyes is not like a fake. If it's acting, then his acting skills can be comparable to the Oscars. I don't know if he really cares about me, Or he's afraid that others will talk too much to make me suspicious. Qin Yuchuan invited the waiter to pay the bill. He hugged my waist and said to the crowd, "My baby is not feeling well. I have settled the bill. Take your time to eat." We went back to our apartment from the hotel. Qin Yuchuan helped me to the bed, pulled the quilt over and covered me and gently said, "Take a rest for a while. I'll pour you water and take medicine." I suddenly want to ask Qin Yuchuan, isn't it tiring to act? But he stopped the sound. That it's interesting to play slowly. Isn't it? Good. I closed my eyes and didn't want to look at Qin Yuchuan. Footsteps sounded and Qin Yuchuan left the room. There was a WeChat prompt in my ear. I opened my eyes and saw that Qin Yuchuan's mobile phone screen lit up. The person who commented Coco sent a message. "Brother Yuchuan, can you pick me up at the company tomorrow? With my ex-husband Zhang Boyan cheating on me, I don't know what this message represents. It's just that at this moment, my blood is stiff all over. In the hot summer, the limbs are even colder to freezing." Not long after he was with Qin Yuchuan, a girl added him to chat on WeChat. He blacked the other party in front of me and promised me, Nuan, don't worry, I'm different from your ex-husband. I won't cheat, and I can't bear to make you sad for me." Maybe Qin Yuchuan's role of loving me is too true. Or maybe the previous failed relationship didn't teach me enough. After that, I never checked Qin Yuchuan's mobile phone. Now the bloody reality is in front of me, slapping me hard. I took a deep breath and took my mobile phone tremblingly. I don't know if Qin Yuchuan thinks I trust him too much and haven't even set a password. I clicked on the avatar marked Coco, the pink cartoon avatar used by the girl, and the dynamic of the circle of friends also has facial text, and the chat with Qin Yuchuan will use a coquettish emoticon pack. The words show the innocence and beauty of a little girl between the lines. Half an hour before proposing to me, Qin Yuchuan was still chatting with her. "Thank you for ordering the blessing lamp for me. My wife likes it very much," Kiki replied. "Yo, you're welcome as long as your sister-in-law likes it." It turned out that I was moved to tears. The blessing lamp was not made by Qin Yuchuan herself, but ordered by this girl named Kiki. Maybe I'm too disappointed tonight, and now I'm completely calm. There was a sound of footsteps, and I put my mobile phone back in its original place. Qin Yuchuan handed me the water and did not forget to say, "Be careful not to be hot." Instead of receiving the cup, I looked at him and asked, "Qin Yuchuan, do you love me?" "Of course I love you." He answered even if he didn't want to. I took the water, raised my head to take the medicine, and a drop crossed the corner of my eyes. Is the love you are talking about belittling me for pleasure? Or cheating in front of me? Qin Yuchuan was typing back to the message, and his eyes were so gentle that he was about to drip water. The way he looked at me was exactly the same as the snowy night many years ago. "Look, this is a man. He said that he cared and loved you," which did not delay him from flirting with another girl. 3. Early the next morning, Qin Yuchuan went out first and I drove to the company. There was an advertisement shooting today. When I arrived at the shooting shed, I knew that the partner was my ex-husband Zhang Boyan's company. Zhang Boyan looked at me with amazement. "Luo Nuan, I didn't expect that. I haven't seen you for several years. You have become so excellent and beautiful. Men are really strange animals. When we were together, we took a magnifying glass to find faults, and after breaking up, we took you as a rare treasure. Long time no see." I smiled politely and turned around to talk to the assistant about the shooting process. When I saw the name Zhou Kiki on the shooting list, my eyes stopped. The assistant said to me, "This is the person arranged by Mr. Qin. He has just entered the company and wants her to get to know her." I can't tell what my mood is, but my throat is blocked and uncomfortable. 10 minutes before the shooting, I met the legendary Zhou Kiki. She came with Qin Yuchuan. Zhou Kiki wore a washed blue dress, which looked young and beautiful. Qin Yuchuan took the initiative to explain to me, "Kiki's house is far from the shooting shed. I brought her here by the way." The way he said was to go out early in the morning to pick up Zhou Kiki. "Sister-in-law, I'm sorry to trouble you and brother Yuchuan." Zhou Kiki is understanding. "It doesn't matter." I turned around and continued to look at the details. Behind him came Zhou Kiki's self-reproach. "Brother Yuchuan, you said that your sister-in-law is so cold to me. You won't be angry with me, are you?" I looked at it in the afterglow. Qin Yuchuan rubbed her hair comfortingly. "She is at this age and has reached menopause, and her temper is always moody. Don't take it to heart." "Don't worry, it won't." Zhou Kiki blinked playfully. Qin Yuchuan smiled helplessly, and his eyes were full of pampering. She is making a fuss and he is laughing. The incomparable scene made my eyes hot. Zhang Boyan came to me at this time and said sarcastically, "Luo Nuan, is this the man you are looking for after leaving me?" "Don't let it go." I retorted coldly. "What do you want to express? Since you can stand him making out with other women in front of you, why can't you forgive me?" Zhang Boyan approached me and softened his voice. "Nuan, as long as you want, I welcome you to come back to me at any time. I have always reserved Mrs. Zhang's position for you." At this moment, I suddenly understood why men are so strange. Because it's cheap. After all, what you can't get is always in turmoil. I pulled away from Zhang Boyan, looked at him up and down and sneered. "Don't worry. Even if I break up with Qin Yuchuan, I will never look back with you. The smile on Zhang Boyan's face disappeared and he looked at me coldly. Is it okay even if he has other women? That's also my own business. I left without looking back. The shooting ended at 3 p.m., and Zhou Kiki invited everyone to have afternoon tea. She served afternoon tea to everyone, and when she came to me, there was a faint hint of ostentation in her tone. Sister-in-law, this is the afternoon tea I invited to you with brother Chuan. Do you want 1,000 layers of mango? I looked at Qin Yuchuan. I don't know if he still remembers my mango allergy. Zhou Ke could see that I didn't take it and his tone was hurt. Did my sister-in-law misunderstand? I'm young and not as experienced as you, so brother Chuan takes care of me a little more. She is a little girl. What do you do with her general knowledge? Qin Yuchuan said and stuffed thousands of layers of mangoes into my hand. Eat quickly and don't disappoint the little girl's heart. I took a bite of the mango and swallowed the bitterness. Qin Yuchuan, Zhou Ke's heart can't be disappointed. So can my heart be trampled on at will? 4. When I got home in the evening, Qin Yuchuan and I said that we would go on a business trip to Shanghai for half a month. In fact, give him a chance to get along with Zhou Kiki. The moment I got on the plane, I contacted the private detective I had found to follow Qin Yuchuan and took a photo of him dating Zhou Kiki. Judging from the photos sent by the private detective, at first, the two of them just made an appointment to have dinner and commute together. In the back, we went to the amusement park and comic exhibition together, and even put on couple's clothes. Qin Yuchuan in the photo smiled brightly, and his eyes were full of Zhou Kiki. Once upon a time, the teenager could only see me in his eyes. I insist on video chatting with Qin Yuchuan every night, playing a qualified intimate girlfriend. Perhaps it has recently crossed the boundary with Zhou Kiki, and Qin Yuchuan feels guilty for me. Every time the video ends, he will tell me, Nuan, you should take care of your health and don't make yourself tired. I will be heartbroken. I know, and so do you. I pretended to be moved. Hanging up the video, nausea surged in my throat in an instant, and I held the toilet and vomited into darkness. After vomiting, the tears that had been endured for a long time fell, and my heart also ached. I comforted myself. It doesn't matter, Luo Nuan. It's okay if it hurts. Cheering up, I went to Weibo and began to record everything today. On the 11th day when he was suspected of cheating, he was in the video. I smiled so gently at me and told me to take care of myself. Did I think too much? How could he cheat on me when he loved me so much? After clicking to send, I browsed the previous Weibo. On the first day I suspected of his cheating, he didn't go to the company with me for the first time, and he forgot that I was allergic to mangoes. On the second day of suspicion of his cheating, I was on a business trip and accidentally saw the girl's circle of friends. They went to the amusement park to play. The smile on his face was the brighter I had never seen before. Is it because I was old that he didn't love me? But at that time he said that he didn't dislike me, who was 7 years older than him. I turned off my mobile phone with satisfaction. These will be the most fatal blow I gave to Qin Yuchuan on the day of breakup. After all, he hurt me who loved him so much. 5. I came back from a business trip, and Qin Yuchuan came to pick me up at the airport. As soon as we met, Qin Yuchuan hugged me and said, a day we don't see each other is like 3 autumns apart. Nuan, how many years we haven't seen each other. If it weren't for the smell of perfume on him, I really believe that he really loves me deeply. After getting on the bus, I said to Qin Yuchuan, Chuan, your procedures for settling in Beijing have come to an end, but I deliberately stopped talking to whet Qin Yuchuan's appetite. Qin Yuchuan asked, it's just what? I just need some more money, but I'm so tight now that I may not be able to help you. Qin Yuchuan was silent for a long time and tentatively said, I have saved a lot of money over the years of work, but I saved this money for our wedding. It doesn't matter. You can use my money to get married. Besides, we are all getting married. Isn't mine yours? I played the image of a considerate girlfriend to the extreme. Qin Yuchuan took me into his arms and said with emotion, Nuan, it's my greatest luck to meet you. But you haven't cherished it. After going back, Qin Yuchuan transferred all the money in the account to me, and gave it voluntarily according to my instructions. Looking at the string of numbers that came out by Corriguo, my gloomy mood for days finally cleared up. Who said that only one can cure all kinds of diseases? Obviously, so is the money. Asterisk. Since I came back from a business trip, Qin Yuchuan has not contacted Zhou Kiki again. With the sweetness of some time ago, Zhou Kiki can't sit still. On Saturday night, Qin Yuchuan went to the bathroom to take a shower, and Zhou Kiki sent him a message. Brother Chuan, I know you are going to marry your sister-in-law. I shouldn't disturb you, but you are the first boy I like. I want to give myself to you tonight. Please rest assured that from today on, I will no longer disturb your life. It doesn't matter if you don't come, but I will never meet someone who moves my heart like you again. What a well-behaved and sensible little girl. I calmly put my mobile phone back. 5 minutes later, Qin Yuchuan came out of the bathroom and took his mobile phone at the first time. I sat at the head of the bed and flipped through the magazine, and Yu Guang looked at him inadvertently. Qin Yuchuan's eyes hesitated for a moment, and soon became firm. After a long time he looked up at me and said, Luo Nuan, I have something to do and I have to go out. You should go to bed early. Don't wait for me to come back. After saying that, Qin Yuchuan came over and kissed me. I turned my head to dodge and looked up at him with a trace of vulnerability in my eyes. Can you not go? Qin Yuchuan hesitated for a moment, but Yu Guang caught a glimpse of the pop-up message of his mobile phone and became firm again. Obedient, I'll be back when I go. I saw Qin Yuchuan eagerly to leave his back and suddenly remembered some past events. In the 3rd month of Qin Yuchuan chasing me, I was hospitalized with a fever. He flew back from 1,000 miles to take care of me. I blinked my sour eyes. It's true when people are wrong. Qin Yuchuan didn't come back all night. The next day I met Qin Yuchuan in the company. He and Zhou Kiki got off the car before and after. When Zhou Kiki saw me beside her, she deliberately kissed Qin Yuchuan's face on her feet. Qin Yuchuan also remembered, pretend to be affectionate 39,103. Get this is in the company turn around. Zhou Kiki was unhappy and bit her lip. Qin Yuchuan's eyes flashed with pain and coaxed. You be good. I'll come back to accompany you tonight, okay? Zhou Kiki laughed instantly when she was promised. I took a sip of coffee, and the bitterness filled my throat. It seems that he forgot to add sugar. 6. Zhou Kiki asked me to have coffee together on the weekend. As soon as she sat down, she couldn't wait to demonstrate to me. Sister Luo Nuan, do you know that Brother Chuan was with me last night? I pressed the recording button and said sadly, I saw the message you sent. Hearing this, Zhou Kiki became more and more proud. Since my sister already knows, I'll just get to the point and make it clear to you. I took a sip of coffee and calmly. No matter how young the little girl is, her lover is fierce, and she pokes people's wounds one by one. Sister, you have not only married someone, but also like someone else, but I'm different. The first boy I like is Brother Chuan. I gave him the first kiss and the first night. Compared with you who already have a man, I am the one who is more worthy of Brother Chuan. Sister, you don't know. These words were said by Brother Chuan and me. Even though he had decided to give up Qin Yuchuan, his heart still hurt when he heard these words. I held back the pain in my heart and lowered my posture. What else did he say to you? Zhou Kiki raised his eyebrows and said, Brother Chuan said that he thinks you are old and can't have any physiological desire to sleep with you at all. Oh, and compared with the clean me, you are too dirty when you are married. So, he dislikes me so much? I smiled desolately. I can't tell whether it's acting or complete despair. Zhou Kiki gave me a look of, you are still self-aware. Since you know, sister, you'd better take the initiative to leave, lest you get embarrassed when you get it, and your face is not good-looking. I turned off the recording and got up. I raised the coffee next to my hand and splashed it directly on Zhou Kiki's face. Zhou Kiki didn't expect that I would fight back at all, so he was stunned on the spot. I looked at her with Condé's confusion. Sister, do you really think that if I break up with Qin Yuchuan, you can successfully rise to the top? 10,000 steps back, you can successfully rise to the top. So can you guarantee that Qin Yuchuan will not abandon you when he meets the next girl who is younger and more beautiful than you, just like he abandoned me now? Leaving the cafe, I was unable to lean on the roadside billboard. The suffocating heartache wrapped me like waves and tears fell down. It's almost over. It's almost over. During this period, I occasionally found that Qin Yuchuan cheated on me, but I pretended not to see it. He kept socializing for his settlement in Beicheng, and qualified to play the image of loving him to the bone. It makes Qin Yuchuan feel more and more guilty about me. By the day when everything is revealed, these guilts will be a whirlpool that swallows up Qin Yuchuan. He will be so painful that he can't breathe like me, but it hurts more. I love him frankly and sincerely, without any deception or slander. That it was he who failed to live up to this love. A bony hand holding a tissue suddenly appeared in sight. I looked up and Zhang Boyan in a straight suit stood in front of me. Luo Nuan, he betrayed you and you can forgive him. I didn't say anything and lowered my long eyelashes covered in tears. What about me? Can you try to forgive me? As long as you forgive me, I promise I won't do it again in the future, he said carefully with a flattering test. I looked at him calmly. Zhang Boyan, even if the broken mirror is glued back, it can't be as good as before. After saying this, I turned around and was about to leave, and my steps stopped. Qin Yuchuan stood not far away and looked at me coldly. His eyelids were half drooping, and the end of his eyes pressed a cold arc. Luo Nuan, we are getting married soon, and you are still entangled with your ex-husband? But he has a big face. Seeing my silence, Qin Yuchuan was even more angry. If you don't say anything, do you admit it? Qin Yuchuan, don't look at everyone dirty. Luo Nuan and I are innocent. I wanted to get back together, but she refused me so much. On the contrary, you are entangled with the internet celebrity named Zhou Kiki. Qin Yuchuan, who was still angry, looked at me eagerly in an instant. He explained to me anxiously, Luo Nuan, don't listen to his nonsense. I have nothing to do with Zhou Kiki. 7. On the way back, Qin Yuchuan kept explaining to me that he had nothing to do with Zhou Kiki. He said that it was not easy for Zhou Kiki to work hard when he saw a little girl in the big city, so he took good care of her. Afraid that I would not believe it, Qin Yuchuan hugged me tightly. Nuan, I only love you. You must believe me. I smelled Zhou Kiki's perfume on him. Unexpectedly, I didn't feel sick, and I didn't feel uncomfortable. There is only calmness like stagnant water. I gently pushed him away. Qin Yuchuan, I will help you settle down in Beicheng, but let's break up. Break up. Qin Yuchuan grabbed my wrist in panic. Sister, won't we break up? I haven't heard him call me that for a long time. I broke free from Qin Yuchuan's hand, and my eyes turned red little by little. Qin Yuchuan, do you remember what I said to you before I promised to be with you? He didn't expect me to ask this suddenly, but he replied, you told me that you are 7 years older than me. You have married someone, so let me think about it clearly before I will be with you. Look, he remembers it clearly. I laughed and tears fell. Qin Yuchuan, am I suddenly 7 years older than you? When you chased me, I didn't tell you that I was married and I was 7 years older than you. We are not only 7 years apart, but also life experience. Sister. His eyes became more and more guilty. He wanted to wipe my tears, but I turned my head to dodge. I know you are young, so I tolerate you everywhere, but Qin Yuchuan, with you I have spent all my courage, worldly vision, and my friends' incomprehension. I don't care. I only care whether you love me or not. I love you, sister. I only love you. Did Qin Yuchuan love me? Of course. Even if he was acting, he put his love into it. But the more it is, the more disgusting it makes me. Qin Yuchuan tried to hold my hand, but I didn't dodge this time. I lowered my eyes and a tear fell on the back of Qin Yuchuan's hand, which made his fingertips tremble. Sister, won't we break up? Good. After all, the play has to continue. After that, Qin Yuchuan no longer had any ex with Zhou Kiki and became extremely clingy to me. Even when he woke up in the middle of the night, he would ask me, Sister, you won't break up with me, will you? The person who suffered from gains and losses became him. But I don't want to care at all. As early as the day after I heard him and others laugh at me, I applied to the company to transfer to the Shanghai branch. Going to Shanghai on a business trip is also to hand over with local colleagues. On the day of the transfer, Zhou Kiki sent another message to Qin Yuchuan. It's a pregnancy test sheet. Qin Yuchuan, who saw the news, didn't even find an excuse and rushed out directly. It's time to end this game. I calmly packed up everything and sent it away. Through the ring, Qin Yuchuan proposed to me into the trash can and drove to Zhou Kiki's apartment. I happened to see Qin Yuchuan helping Zhou Kiki get out of the car. The action is very gentle, like taking care of some fragile treasure. I suddenly remembered Qin Yuchuan, who confessed to me for the first time in a long time. The teenager's eyes were shining, and he could only pretend to be me. Sister, I really like you. I just want to be with you for the rest of my life. Now I want to come. So ironic. I took a picture and posted it on Weibo. Seeing you hugging her, I was finally sure that you cheated on me. It also contrasts with my exploration during this period, and condoning your harm to me is like a joke, but it doesn't matter, it's all over. Qin Yuchuan, I won't love you anymore. I booked a ticket to Shanghai City tonight. Half an hour before boarding, I contacted the marketing account I knew, and sent all the photos and recordings of Qin Yuchuan's cheating Zhou Kiki during this period. By the way, all Qin Yuchuan's contact information is blocked. Boarded and left without looking back. I once regarded the appearance of Qin Yuchuan as a ray of light in my life. I didn't know until I was betrayed later. Instead of relying on other people's light to warm yourself, it's better to be your own light. 8. On the 15th hour of landing in Shanghai, my local colleagues held a grand welcome ceremony for me. After 3 rounds of drinking, my colleague and I talked about Qin Yuchuan. Luo Nuan, is it about your younger boyfriend's cheating little internet celebrity on the hot search? I took a sip of wine and said with a smile, I know I've dumped him. This kind of scumbag should not stay by his side. My colleague gave me a thumbs up and handed me his mobile phone. The top 3 hot searches are all the entries of Qin Yuchuan cheating on Zhou Kiki. Hashtag Qin Yuchuan Zhou Nuan hashtag. Hashtag derailment 30 astronomy hashtag. Hashtag Zhou Nuan's third quotations hashtag. I took a look at the hot search entry, and the marketing account sent out all the things I sent. And my carefully designed small size was also picked up by netizens. For a moment, the internet was full of abuse of Qin Yuchuan. It's been 2 by 20 years, and I can still see this kind of feudal remnants. What's wrong with the divorce? Don't you deserve to be loved after divorce? When you were 18 or 19 years old, you said that you loved to your sister, who was 7 years older than you. My sister was with you with all the worldly pressures and strange eyes. But only in a few years you thought that my sister was old. She thought she was married and turned her head to fall in love with another young and beautiful girl. But do you still remember that she was suddenly 7 years older than you? I read my sister's Weibo. She is a super excellent person. She wishes that scumbags should not die. My sister has a bright future. I bought an apartment in Shanghai City with the money transferred to me by Qin Yuchuan and started a new life. I heard the news of Qin Yuchuan and Zhou Kiki again at a friend's party. Nuan, Do you still remember Qin Yuchuan who fell in love with you before? What? After he was exposed for cheating, he had been scolded by netizens. The company couldn't stand the pressure to fire him and Xiao San. I heard from my friend that Qin Yuchuan has always wanted to settle in Beicheng. Now that he has no money, he has gone back to his hometown. This is not the most wonderful thing. The most wonderful thing is his junior, who is not pregnant with his child at all. After saying that, my friend looked at me worriedly. Nuan, have you put it down? Of course, I said. No matter how much unwillingness they were, they became relieved after watching Qin Yuchuan cheat on Zhou Nuan step by step. It's just a wrong relationship. What can't be put down? I quickly adapted to the job in Shanghai, and because of my excellent business, I was promoted to the general manager of the branch. To my surprise, Zhang Boyan chased him to Shanghai. By the way, he also brought my mother as a robast. Luo Nuan, I told you that you and Qin Yuchuan won't last long. Now that you have broken up, you can remarry Xiao Zhang. This couple is still a good match. My mother is a traditional housewife. She has been around me and my father all her life. I understand and respect her logic, but I don't approve of it. Sending my mother away in a good voice, I said to Zhang Boyan with a cold face, Zhang Boyan, I told you that even if I break up with Qin Yuchuan, we can't get back together. You don't want to get back together with me. Do you still have Qin Yuchuan in your heart? What's so good about that yellow-haired boy? Zhang Boyan decided that I couldn't let Qin Yuchuan go, so he didn't want to get back together with him. I didn't bother to talk anymore, so I turned around and left. Unexpectedly, when I turned around, I saw Qin Yuchuan standing behind me. After not seeing him for half a year, Qin Yuchuan looks much more vicissitudes than his impression. At present he can't hide the blue, and his eyes are also full of blood. He is in the same way as the high-intent teenager. He said hoarsely with joy, Sister, you still can't let go of me, right? I endured the irritation of rolling my eyes and pulled my lips speechlessly. You think too much. Men have their own logical thinking and think that if a woman doesn't find a new love, she can't let him go. I have seen your diary, and I have also heard what you and Zhang Boyan said. You didn't deny that you don't love me. So you still love me, right? Qin Yuchuan stepped forward and tried to pull my hand. I frowned and dodged. He blushed. Sister. I looked at him calmly. When you say that you dislike me as a yellow-faced woman and others laugh at me, I don't want to love you anymore. Qin Yuchuan shook his head desperately. Sister, I was drunk that night. Can you listen to my explanation? We're all broken up. Is there any need to explain? 9. Qin Yuchuan's eyes were very red. Can you give me another chance? I will definitely not let you down. Did you see that I gave him a chance? I pointed to Zhang Boyan beside me and sneered. Qin Yuchuan, there are some words I don't want to understand, but now I think I have to make it clear to you. In Qin Yuchuan's unbelievable eyes, I slowly opened my mouth and poked my heart word by word. The so-called diary on Weibo was written by me to make you feel guilty. You cheated on Zhou Nuan, which was also fueled by me. I also exposed the cheating photos of you and Zhou Nuan. At the age of 18 or 19, I may fantasize that I am the heroine of the novel, and I can make the scumbag chase his wife to the crematorium. But at present, I just want to live well every day. And I don't want to be entangled with the past. If you lose your reputation and change my youth in the past few years, we don't owe each other. I don't hate you and don't bother me. Zhang Boyan didn't bother me anymore, but sent some greeting text messages from time to time which was blocked by me. But Qin Yuchuan still haunted me. He even rented a house next to my company and squatted downstairs to guard me to and from work every day. Sometimes when I'm annoyed by him, I will curse with a deep face. Qin Yuchuan, don't pretend to be affectionate. I won't be moved. I will only get bored with you. He lowered his head in an instant. Sister, I just want to compensate you. I don't need your compensation. I left with a cold face. The days continued like this until the day of the first snow in Shanghai. My colleague sent me home from work. When I got downstairs, I met Qin Yuchuan who came to see me. Seeing me get off the man's car, Qin Yuchuan's eyes showed a trace of panic. He asked eagerly, Is he your new boyfriend? What does it have to do with you? I didn't want to explain, so I went straight back. Qin Yuchuan's eyes read, Sister, how on earth are you willing to forgive me? These days, I have seen enough of his pretended affection and turned around to leave. Suddenly there was a dong sound in my ear. I turned my head. Qin Yuchuan knelt on the ground and looked at me with red eyes. In this way, can you forgive me? Qin Yuchuan knelt in the snow all night and I didn't look back. Even the phone calls he was towed by the ambulance in the middle of the night were made by passersby who couldn't see them. Soon, Qin Yuchuan was discharged from the hospital and pestered me. At the same time, I received a notice from the senior management that the company intends to transfer me to Australia to develop overseas markets. I agreed without thinking about it. On the day the visa procedures were completed, I made an appointment with Qin Yuchuan to meet on Christmas Eve. Have a complete break with him. Qin Yuchuan prepared a candlelight dinner, and I was not interested in appreciating it at all. Qin Yuchuan, let's make a complete break today. He didn't expect that I would suddenly open my mouth like this, and his face showed a trace of disbelief. I cleared my throat and continued. Thank you very much for giving me a hand in my most difficult time. In the past few years with you I was really happy. Even if others don't understand why I fell in love with a 7-year-old girl, or look at me with different eyes, but at that time I really recognized you. But as I told you last time, we are completely finished with me. Sister. Qin Yuchuan was so hoarse that he couldn't speak. He covered his face with his hands, and tears fell from his fingers. Sister, I was wrong. I was really wrong. Can you give me another chance? Not good. I picked up my bag and said, Qin Yuchuan, don't bother me anymore. This will only make me forget your kindness to me and your badness to me. That's it, Qin Yuchuan, it's good for you and me. Luo Nuan. Qin Yuchuan choked and called my name. I stopped and turned around to look at him. He looked at me and shed tears. I'm sorry. And please, don't hate me. Of course I won't hate you. Because you are just a passerby in my long life. I turned around and left. Qin Yuchuan couldn't control it anymore and cried bitterly. Maybe one late night in the future, I will occasionally think of him in the past of love and hatred. I will regret and sigh, but I will never regret it. Walking out of the restaurant, I looked up at the sky. At this moment, the snow is beginning and the sun is clear. Just like my future life, the future is bright and bright.